Hello, hello. Um, Hi. So this is Rosa Medina, and as you know, Ere Vallejo and I have a podcast in Spanish, and it's called Intrépidas Marketing. But I want to make a short English version just for you guys, because well, this school community has given me so much, and I would just like to share a bit with you too. And maybe Ere will come and join me later on, but I don't know. For now, I'll just translate a little bit into a very, very fast and short episode so you know a little bit of what we're talking about into our Spanish podcast. So, anyways, in this episode of Intrepidas Marketing, we dive into the concept of foolish investments, those costly decisions that don't pay off because they're made more than hope and not on solid data. Okay, so what's a foolish investment? Well, for us, right, it is when you spend money without properly checking for actual demand or planning for realistic outcomes. The hard part is it's an investment that seems really promising, especially when chasing lower cost, but ends up being wasteful because the expected benefits just never materialize. So this happened to me in a startup, and we go into the chapter and we talk about that too. It's actually a personal example. In one of my early ventures, I was launching a beverage startup. I was determined to lower my unit cost, so I decided to buy supplies in bulk. I ended up purchasing a huge tank of flavoring and dozens of Tetra Pak containers. And my thinking was that, hey, buying in large quantities will reduce the cost per unit. But what really happened was that I overinvested in supplies and I couldn't use them in time trying. And I mean, all of my capital, and we just created a lot of waste and inventory. We didn't sold it. We didn't really sold a lot of it. So in hindsight, I would have been smarter if I just bought smaller quantities, even if the per unit cost was a bit higher or a lot higher, but that would allow me to just save a lot of money and maybe use it in marketing. So use it in something that was actually moving the needle. Anyways, that was really, really bad for that venture. And a similar situation I saw on a company that I was doing some coaching for. This company was considering buying expensive equipment to cut down on rental fees. The idea was that owning the equipment would reduce the cost in the long run. But here's the catch: this made sense only if there was already a proven demand for their services. And without that guarantee, the investment was just risky and just could have ended up being a huge waste of money, which it was, by the way. So, anyway, what's the key lesson here? It all comes down to making decisions based on real data. Because, like, when what happened to me was, okay, I want to buy this to have a lower cost, and let's see and let's hope we're going to have the demand for it. But that didn't happen. And this other company, they were an audiovisual industry. They were into doing videos, so they wanted to have the videos so that when someone will quote for them, they could have a better pricing because they own the equipment, also a better margin and everything. But this was all based into the cost, basically, right? Like not into the sales. And for both of us, it just didn't work out. So I think that's the key lesson. I mean, do I have enough evidence that this investment is really going to pay off? Is there enough demand for my product or service right now? Because this type of clear data driven thinking is what separates a smart investment from a foolish investment. Another strategy that has helped me in embracing this is actually, well, to avoid this mistake over and over again, is going a little bit into lean startup methodology. I don't know if you know that book, Lean Startup by Eric Rice. A separate chapter, we're going to talk about that. But just wanted to say, basically, that book tells you the exact same thing. Just launch a minimal viable product to test the market. And that is the way to go, because then when you actually invest your time and money, then you know you're going to have something of a market out there, and not just bringing something to the market and guess what, nobody wants. Or then you say, oh, they didn't understand it. It's not that they didn't understand it. I mean, you just made a product for yourself, and guess what, there's not a lot of people like yourself out there, or at least you just couldn't find them. But anyways, It's really crucial also to calculate the payback period, basically how quickly you can expect to recover your investment. If the numbers add up and the recovery period is short, then that's a good sign that you're making a smart investment. But if you're investing based solely on a hopeful projection on the future demand, then you're more likely to end up with an investment that doesn't serve your business in the long run. Remember, being daring is in business doesn't mean acting recklessly. It means being bold while also being smart and methodical. So use your data, think ahead, and plan for the worst case scenarios. This catastrophic thinking, I mean, I don't want to get into that, but sometimes at least just having a glance, it may help. And especially when you like hope versus catastrophic thinking, just try to go with the numbers, like no either way. But anyways, before I wrap up, I want to please let me know. Have you had any investment like this, like a really foolish investment like me? And if you did, let me know what lessons did you learn from it. Just you can just have your comment here in the school, or I'll send you the link for the YouTube if you want to just put it in there. Anyways, thank you for listening. This is the short English version of Intrepida's marketing podcast, and on the next one, I'm going to show you a little bit more of this lean startup methodology. So let me know if you want to hear about that. And that will be it for today. Bye bye.